They gave us the goods in game one. How about Ronald Holland the third? Ronald Holland the third. The three to beat the buzzer at the end of three. And then Cade Cunningham to Jalen Duren. And this was part of a 6-0 run that they went on after the Cavaliers tied it at 93. Cunningham again to Duren with the flush. 4-point game now. Again, Cavaliers clearly not looking out for Duren. And then, to make matters worse, Cade Cunningham. Wasn't his best night efficient-wise, but there, hits the J. And the Cavaliers go on to win 111-101. Cade Cunningham with 23 points on 6 of 19 shooting, but he was 9 for 11 from the field. How about Duncan Robinson with 19 points on 7 of 12 shooting? Donovan Mitchell put up 23. James Harden with 22. With 8 and 7, but just not enough from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in this one. Time now to bring in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, so much during this postseason, we have been talking about how Jalen Duren needs to get back to the regular season Jalen Duren. And while he still didn't reach the mark, right, of 20 and 10 in this game, how impressive was he down the stretch when the Cavaliers got all the way back to tied at 93, and then he really flexed his muscles there?
Yeah, the Cavs crept back into the game, Chris, in the fourth quarter, and Jalen Duren, this is a low bar, but his best game of the postseason by far, still below his season averages, but he goes for a double-double, played great defense, and he was a major pest in the paint, and the Cavs didn't have any answer for that two-man combination of Cade and Jalen Duren. I mean, anytime that Jalen Duren got deep into the paint, Cade was finding him for some really easy buckets down the stretch when they needed some offense. So those two guys, that's something that you're going to want to keep an eye on as the series goes forward, because you would think on paper the Cavs should have an answer for Jalen Duren because they've got two bigs that are really good. You've got a former Defensive Player of the Year in Evan Mobley, and you've got Jared Allen, who's an awesome rim protector. Now, the problem was Jared Allen got in foul trouble, I think, before the game even started. He had 3 fouls on him in the first quarter, and they had to yank him, and that was basically his night. So put a lot of pressure on Evan Mobley defensively, and then offensively, the Cavs just couldn't keep pace. It was kind of similar to what we saw from the Cavs against the Raptors in their series, where their offense, I guess, just doesn't go on the road. They scored 101 points tonight. That's about what happened when they were on the road in Toronto, where they were held to around 100 points or fewer. So something to keep in mind as they go into game two. Can they get that offense going? But this was the Pistons team that was top of the Eastern Conference all season long. That's what they look like tonight.
And the reason why, John, is because Cade Cunningham, he didn't have to do it all by himself, right? During that Magic series, he had to put up like 35, 40, and sometimes it didn't even matter. But in this one, very well balanced. So Tobias Harris was great. Asar Thompson poured in 11 points. Duncan Robinson. What did you see from the other guys that really allowed the Pistons to dominate this game before the Cavaliers came back?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because the questions about the Pistons was, it's not Cade Cunningham. Everybody knows how good Cade Cunningham is. He's going to make first-team All-NBA. The question was, beyond Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham, what do the Pistons really have? And I was one of the guys clamoring for, hey, they probably should add at the trade deadline. They decided basically not to. They went and got Kevin Huerter, but he's basically fallen out of the rotation. So these supporting pieces, could they help them out? And in that first series against the Magic, Tobias Harris was really good, and Asar Thompson does everything but shoot. But Duncan Robinson could not hit a shot in that first series. And just like getting a normal amount of wide open threes to fall for Duncan Robinson would be a huge boost for the Pistons, right? Well, tonight that happened. Tonight he goes 5 of 8 from deep. That is sorely needed. And something else that happened was Dennis Jenkins, who had a really good regular season off the bench for the Pistons and filled in really admirably when Cade Cunningham went down with that collapsed lung. Dennis Jenkins reemerged, where all of a sudden JB Bickerstaff remembered, oh yeah, I got a guy on my bench who's pretty good. Maybe I should use him. He goes for 12 points tonight. So that's kind of the formula for the Pistons. And it's amazing for the Pistons, by the way, how much better that offense looks when they don't have a team like the Magic, who play great defense and are all giant. You have a bunch of 6'8" guys clogging the paint and making things more difficult for them. Well, the Cavs don't have that. So the Pistons offense had a lot easier looks in game one against the Cavs. And it's just remarkable, like, how much different that offense appeared tonight in game one.
Yeah, it's the playoffs, they're all about matchups. Like, another reason why the Pistons were able to win this game turning Cleveland over. Okay, they forced 19 turnovers. How much do you feel that was a part of Cavaliers just being careless with the ball, more so the fact that the Pistons just brought that defensive intensity that put the Cavaliers in uncomfortable situations?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, right? I mean, the Cavs had sort of like a warm-up for this series by playing the Raptors because the Raptors like to play through their defense and they like to turn you over as well. But the Pistons are just better at it. They had the second-best defense in the NBA during the regular season, and tonight they turned the Cavs over 20 times and turned that into 31 points. And so James Harden, who was really good in the fourth quarter and was a big reason why the Cavs were able to stay close and get back into the game, he had 7 turnovers, right? Now, Donovan Mitchell goes for 23 points. Normally in a game one, Donovan Mitchell is lights out, right? You can count him in for 30 plus. Tonight, only 23 points. You had to ask James Harden to do a lot. He had the ball in his hands more than I think maybe Donovan Mitchell would have won because, you know, they like to share the duties there. Just put a lot of pressure on James Harden. That 7 turnovers was killer tonight. And the overall team turnovers that they turned into 31 points was a killer for the Cavs. So they absolutely have to clean that up. It's a level up. I mean, the Raptors, they do that pretty well. The Pistons, they do that better than almost anybody, better than everybody except for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and that's why they are the 1 seed in the East. So turning the ball over is something that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have to fix in Game 2. But what's another area that they're going to have to fix to make sure they don't go down 2-0 going back to Cleveland?
Yeah, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen got to be better. Jared Allen cannot get into foul trouble that early. Evan Mobley has to play better defense on Jalen Duren. Definitely have to slow that down, that 2-man combination between Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. And here's the other thing. They put the Pistons on the line a ton tonight. The Cavs went to the line, made 15 of 16, 94%. Pretty good, right? Guess what? The Pistons doubled them up in free throw attempts. I mean, they were just fouling the Pistons left and right tonight. So they cannot give them that many easy points. Now, the Pistons did them a little bit of a favor tonight by missing 8 of their free throws, and that could have come into factoring in how this game was decided. But luckily for the Pistons, they made enough shots that they won this thing by double digits. But when the Cavs were getting back into the game, I was looking at that free throw disparity going, oh man, I wonder if the Pistons are going to regret missing that many free throws, or if the Cavs are going to regret putting them on the line that much. So that's something the Cavs definitely have to clean up, and the Pistons got to make more shots when they do get to the line.
Yeah, the Pistons shot 35 free throws, and as you mentioned, only made 27. So yeah, definitely want to make all your free throws. John Gonzalez, always appreciate the insight, man. Take care. And so with the win over the Cavaliers, the Pistons snap a 12-game playoff losing streak against the Cavaliers. And that's tied for the most in NBA history when you think about head-to-head win streaks. Cavaliers had won 12 in a row dating back to 2007. But on this night, the Pistons are able to get it done, winning 111-108.
I'm talking in the interview, and I heard what he was saying, but at the same time,
you didn't want to hear what he was saying. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, 10 points. Like if we're getting 10 points from you, we're not winning. Yeah. That's just plain and simple. So I would love to see him to be aggressive, and I would tell him that, and I would remind him that every time.
For some context, what he said was, you know, whether I get 10 points or 50 points, and they're saying, not 10, though. Not 10. Go ahead, Melo.
He have to be Game 1 Donovan Mitchell today.
Yeah,
I want to see Game 1 Donovan Mitchell. It's a reason why you're there nine straight games, 9 straight first Game 1s. Make it 10. Today have to be that. You have to go out there, be aggressive. You have to put this team on your back. The first series is over with. It's a whole new series. Forget about what you did. This starts right now.
And meanwhile, with James Harden, struggled a little bit with turnovers. He had 36 total turnovers in that first round. But what do you need to see from Donovan's running mate then, Melo, to help him be successful and this team to be successful in this?
Well, James just going to continue to find his pockets in the game, find his spots in the game. And again, he's going to continue to let Donovan Mitchell lead. There's a lot of times James has the ball, and he's looking for Donovan. Like, he want to swing it. He want to boomerang it back to Donovan. So that tells me he want Donovan to go out there and lead. I think James' job tonight is going to find everybody else. He's going to find Mobley. He's going to find, you know, lob threats at the rim. He's going to find shooters. And then he's going to pick his spots to be aggressive. And I think he understands the magnitude of starting this series and what he has to bring in this series alongside with Spider Mitchell.
I actually think what's going to open up James in their offense, you look at somebody coming off their bench like Matt Strus. He didn't really have a good series. I mean, he probably had one game in that 7-game series.
Game 7.
In game 7. So he's got to be who he is and knock down shots to be a floor spacer for James, because when he has a floor spacer, now that lob threat becomes even more dangerous.